8 trends that we're going to walk you guys through today. And again, it's not all just a monologue here. So feel free to ask questions or challenge the trends out there. Our first trend, trend number 1 is PR and search marketing are really colliding. We've been saying this for a few years, but this is the year where I think it's really going to be integrated. The latest statistics show that a B2B buyer searches online 12 times before they engage with a brand. So that's why it's important that your public relations and search be trying to work together. And we look at it as a collaboration, not competition, between the two disciplines. And there are a few things that we as marketers need to understand so that we can help direct the PR landscape. Number 1 is understand the importance of domain authority. Is everyone in this room? This is a safe zone. You guys understand the domain authority, how that works? I will assume you don't. It's very simple, a ranking to 1 to 100 that's put together not by Google, but by very smart people who suspect how Google does its ranking. The closer you are to 100 means you're a very trusted website. So you want to try to get your own website, and if you're curious, you can go to a domain authority checker, just Google it, throw NCR in and see what your domain authority is. And I probably should have done that before I came, but I'm guessing that you're in the mid 50. You might be 60, which would be really good because you're a really big brand. Very few people make it into the 90s. Wall Street Journal, I don't know what they are now. They used to be like a 98. Very trusted media outlet. So if you're getting links from the Wall Street Journal, Google likes that, and that increases your own search rankings. So that's why domain authority is important. You need to know what your domain authority is. And then your PR people can work to maximize their media list when they're working with media. It used to be you just looked at maybe the elite media and some key trades. Now you can overlay on top of that your domain authority and say, well, these trade publications have a lower domain authority than me, so maybe we shouldn't spend a lot of time with them. Let's spend more time with these publications, from a perspective of getting backlinks to your own website. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And then you also have to think, Huffington Post has now been out since 2005, but new media outlets like Cheddar are popping up all the time, which are having a huge user base, especially with the millennial crowd. Their domain authority is rapidly rising, and being able to segment and look for non-traditional media sources is important. Everyone knows what a backlink is. It's a link in an article to your own website, to NCR's website, or a link within your website. What your PR team should be doing for you is asking for backlinks when stories run. Mm-hmm. They don't always say yes, and now the media is much wiser about this, so they're not as free with backlinks as they used to be. But it doesn't hurt to at least ask. A clever way to do it is if you're either doing an interview or if you're working on a contributed piece of content, if there's key information, like a recent research report you did on trends in the hospitality sector, you can reference that, you can reference some of the numbers in that report, and you can provide to the media, hey, if you want an additional asset, a lot of times a marketing asset for the article, you can feel free to link directly to the report. The reader enjoys that type of information when they want to drill down, so the media is more likely to use a link like that than just hyperlinking NCR. Does that make sense? So that's part of where, because a lot of that content's created from the marketing side of the house, and if the PR side of the house knows, they can integrate it in what they're doing. And then the last is keywords. 71% of B2B research starts with a generic term. Doesn't start with NCR hospitality. It starts with restaurant management system and goes from there. So make sure as we're developing content, we know what those keywords are, even for brochures and product sheets, so that we can start to use those. We do need to make sure that we're writing for humans and not just machines. So if you're using much more than 5% of your copy is stuffed with keywords, that's keyword stuffing. A few things having looked at, I know you just rolled out a new website pretty recently. Our search team and I were looking at a few suggestions we would make. Kudos for you guys for using videos. That's great. It would be even better if your scripts for the videos were embedded either on your site or the platform you're choosing to use is YouTube. So your scripts can be embedded in there because, let's remember, Google likes to read. It doesn't categorize the videos. So it has no idea what's inside the video.
The thing is, Mike, is we have a new head of digital that's starting a week from tomorrow.
Awesome.
So we'll actually have somebody with a background there that can tell us the format and do it for us.
We want to do that. So anytime you have content like a webinar, take that recorded content, get it transcribed, and put that content with the webinar so that Google can read it. Another thing, which I would put on the digital guys must do first thing you walk in the door, or maybe someone can do sooner, is on your website, when you click on a video, it then takes you off your website to YouTube. It really should pop open a new tab. But you guys, it looks like you guys already know that. So.
You can send us a list and we'll make sure it's done by
That's an easy fix for y'all. So that's trend number one.
Not till March.
So
No changes.
These guys work like PR and search work like a drill and a bit, really hand in glove with each other. Thought leadership. Okay, people have been saying thought leadership for years. So there's a different type of thought leadership happening out there today. And I think that thought leadership has a new meaning. There are, and we've all done them, thought leadership placements where you're actually regurgitating industry knowledge and stuff that people already know. We've all read articles where we're like, I could have written that article, right? Well, the truth of the matter is you didn't write the article, so you didn't get the placement, you didn't get the ink, someone else got it as a thought leader. I'm not going to say it's a minor thought leader, but maybe it's an obvious thought leader. What I think thought leadership is evolving into is really, does the organization or individual have a unique point of view, a real point of view around the topic? Where is restaurant management really going? Type of thing. That's going to start to separate you from the pack. Are there unique insights that only NCR has? Whether it's from data mining yourself within your own organization or commissioning other research that's unique that can only be received through NCR. That's taking thought leadership in our world to another level. It's really advancing an agency idea or an industry idea. What we like to say is the trend is if thought leaders can push to be a little bit more like Elon Musk, I mean, no one can argue. He's our modern day thought leader. No idea is too big for him to talk about and start building a plane around. And the antithesis of that would be Kim Kardashian. You pay her, she will spout out whatever needs to be said, type of thing. They both work, but if you want to elevate, how can you start to eke that point of view that's really unique into thought leadership?
So reactive and proactive.
Yeah. And again, there's a place for just regurgitation. There's a place for stating the obvious. It's going to get you media placements. It's going to get you content. People are still going to value that, but the aha moments are going to come from where you can really advance a point of view that's differentiated. We tell people all the time, in order to have thought leadership, you have to have a thought.
Aaron, I think an important point on some of the differences we're going to want to be doing in our reputation-specific programs are oftentimes we comment on what we do and what our solutions do, but we actually don't take a point of view that often on where the industry is going or something completely different that has nothing to do with our solutions today, but has to do with our industry. So I think you'll see us do it.
Awesome.
Cool. Trend number 3. And this dovetails into that, Jessica, as if you were saying it. The brand experience is the product. I mean, I can challenge you and everyone can find an example, but in most cases, no matter what type of product you're talking about, product parity is out there. I mean, your restaurant management system is going to be like someone else's restaurant management system, which is going to be like someone else's restaurant management system. Sure, there are differences around the edges with features and functions, but that starts to get you into a commodity battle if you're just battling on feature and function. So we have to start thinking about the brand experience is really the product. And what does that mean? Today, Experian released some surveys that improving customer experience is the most important business driver today in B2B companies. And Harvard Business Review just released a survey that executives view data benefits mostly in terms of that customer experience. So we know it's about the customer experience. So what does that mean? It means we need a holistic view of who our customers are. We need to work to personalize interactions with the customers, which we're going to come back later in another trend, to the individual user experience. So again, that experience becomes the product, not the product. And then how do we use content, the messages, the creative execution, the actual interface to deliver this? I think one of the best examples of this right now in the marketplace is Ford. And you're probably like, Ford Motor Company? Really? Ford Motor Company.
I do a Ford.
There you go. There you go. Remember, it used to be found on road dead. Ford Motor Company has partnered, as you know, with Amazon. So Alexa is now in your Ford, right? And now Alexa knows when you're getting close to your favorite Starbucks, and she will ask you if you would like her to place your favorite Starbucks order. So that's just transformed the car into an experience. The car is actually now your wallet, right? It's your digital wallet. It's going to pay for it. Alexa's the delivery process. And that really makes that brand experience elevate among a Chevy or a Buick. Because there are people that are going to want a car that will order stuff for them. That experience is going to be great. So we need to be looking, and that's a B2C example, but we need to be looking for how can that be incorporated in the type of things NCR is doing. And how can we as marketers find those unique things and say, let's pull that out and tease that out. I think we're going to see a lot around this in the next year.
In my previous life, because I've had many, this was super important. And the way that we conveyed it, and this was also in a B2B environment, was everybody sells. Yep. So the sales contact is not the only contact to the client. And how do you create a fluid, seamless experience, even from an operational perspective? Because you're delivering on the brand experience, and they're going to think of, well, how did finance send me the invoice, and was it right, and how did I have to go back to do that, to what was the speed to market on my particular POS system, whatever it may be. So to me, it's not just about the experience you have from a touch of product. It's everything that surrounds how that product came to you. Touch an organization, basically.
Which is kind of linked into another trend. Which is awesome. But it's not the next trend, but maybe next time I'll reorder it, because maybe I should. The next trend is influencer marketing. So we're going back to the Kim Kardashians of the world. Everyone knows that influencer marketing is a huge trend out there, especially in the B2C world, where you're paying influencers to promote your brand, promote your ideas to the marketplace. Increasingly, we're seeing B2B marketing folks start to allocate budgets and bigger budgets around actually building influencer marketing. The real truth is, and I look back over our agency career, many of our clients, we've been doing this for years on the B2B side. We just never called it influencer marketing. We might call it hiring a third-party expert, going out and getting a third-party expert to partner with us on a webinar to add credibility. We just didn't hang the fancy name on it, and we probably should have. 87% of buyers give more credence today to influencers when they're looking to differentiate and researching. We had an example, a few examples. We worked with a contact center company, and we put a panel together with an author, a former journalist, and an academician to deliver blog content, webinar content, live events. And that's what we mean by building influencer marketers. It was in a very small audience, but these were the types of folks that resonated with them, and ultimately they saw a 30% lift on their revenue side. Not just because of that program, but overall.
Mike, are you seeing anybody doing anything differently around influencer marketing today? I think to your point, in the B2B world, we've been doing it for years around working with analysts or different types of industry experts. Is anybody doing something like outside the box?
I think that people are increasingly not afraid to get outside. A lot of people just tie a rope around influencer marketing being social, like the social influence. I think that folks that get into other areas like academics and find professors and think tank leaders, analysts are a little bit different because they're paid influencers usually, but to find those alternative type of influencers which might not have a big megaphone. A lot of times in the consumer world, influencer marketing is measured by how big the megaphone is. Kim Kardashian has the biggest megaphone, let's hire her. First, what's the right type of person to hire? So I don't know, I have to think some more about alternative ways.
It's always been an interesting one, especially because of the industries we play in. When we're going after small, mid-market, a lot of those are word-of-mouth driven type of restaurant retailers. I'd just be interested in if we should be thinking about anything from an influencer marketing outside of the box of PR. We work with these types of influencers.
Right. And we've talked with Cheryl about that on the silver side, about working with some very special influencers in different ways of operationalizing business. So that's an example which you were pointing to. Like NCR Silver can't just have a mobile POS influencer. Like, who really cares about that, right? Because it's niche. But they can have an expert that can talk about customer service. They can have an expert that truly understands operational efficiency. They can have an expert that truly understands the workforce and how do you manage the workforce. And then you can map the product up into those bigger threads that are more important. If you have an influencer that just knows the POS space, it's like a one and done type of thing. So
yeah, I think also the point is not a fan of B2B, B2C terminology, but because at the end of the day, you're selling to a human. So using those, to your point, just the analyst people or like the high tech, does that really resonate with the individual that's coming to you, that human that you're trying to sell to and talk to?
What are the pain points of the business owner?
Yeah,
or the decision maker? Yeah,
or even, personally, what is that person's stake and, how do they live their life? What's going to help them to do it? Because we've started value selling training, started it and started implementing it across our business as well. So this changes a salesperson's mindset to be like, this is a person that has goals and is actually caring about meeting whatever X goal so they can get a bonus or so they can do something for their family, like as it becomes an individual. So I think when you think about the influencers, even in a B2B environment, which I don't like calling that, that's something to think about. Like, well, why couldn't I use a Kim Kardashian to talk about a POS just because it would be hilarious to absolutely all of our clients to be like, it's so out of place.
Right.
So I think that would be a trend to be like, that is so out of place. Why would NCR use that? But at the same point, you see commercials across the board of, Tide using a football player. So out of place. Why would a football player care about Tide? All they do is get dirty all day.
Bounty's using Morgan Freeman.
It's just these random brands, and they are consumer brands, but you also see it on the business side of them using these out-of-the-box influencers that don't make sense, but because of that become viral in the sense of what they do. So.
And I think that's a good idea. You just sometimes have to temper what the value of the big pop of viral versus some constant ongoing.
As long as it's call to action and tying it into something that actually makes business sense. Yeah.
There you go. Details.
Let's go after Kim.
I just want to see Kim.
The trend that never dies is not influencer marketing. It's measurements. But what makes this one a little bit different is that matter, really. And go ahead to the next slide, Rory. What I would say is we spent the last year talking to experts in different industries that really are at the head of the game in measurement. Because as marketers, we have access to so much data, analysis paralysis. We know that happens. What do you focus on? What's the one measurement? So we kind of went through and talked to some of these people. Katie Payne up on the top left, the PR measurement queen. It's PR. The one measurement is where's the connective tissue that ties that to the business value. And then you figure out what you're going to measure on the PR side of things. So not clips, not column inches, not reach. How are you going to drive down in PR to business business value. Daniel Lamont, who is an expert in website measurement. It's all about conversions. That's what he says. Website conversion measurement is the one measurement if you can look at. Rand Fisk, the father of Moz. So if there are any search folks in the audience, they know Moz rather well. He would say search traffic is the one big organic search traffic. If you can only measure one thing, and so you guys might be beyond this, being able to measure multiple things, but if you can only measure one thing, focus first on organic search traffic. Jen Horton over at Serious Decisions. She tweaked it a little bit in terms of looking at the programmatic efforts for demand generation. And really, not just that front-end demand, but what's the acceleration of the demand through the pipeline and afterwards. So following all the way through, not just stopping with what leads did we get in the pipe. Serena Ehrlich with Business Wire, big search guru, conversions. How is search driving to revenue goals? So get behind, forget how many fans you have, how many likes you have. Is the tweet driving revenue type of thing. And then Michael Brenner, who was with SAP and has done a lot on content marketers. It's all about subscribers. How can you get people to sign up for things on your website? Sign up to get your content. And again, these are forced measurements. Like we ask if there's only one thing you could measure. You can go to archetty.com/org and you can see all their interviews and what all they said. Backlink.
Another measurement.
There we go. So, measurement.
I have a question about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And tell me if it's on the website. Did they talk to any of the tools that they use to measure?
It's on the website, yes. The very last question was, what's one tool you really like? And sometimes they said more than one tool. And sometimes they say no tools. And we might have even phrased it as, I think a separate question was what's an inexpensive way to measure? And some tools seeped into there also. So, yeah. Personalized and interactive, and this kind of touched a little, we've talked a little bit already about personalized. It's important that these two come together. IDC says personalization and interactive videos grow revenue by taking a buyer deeper into the sales cycle. And Forrester estimates that a minute of video, you need this one for Maria at some point in time, or one of the line of business executives. A minute of video is worth 1.8 million words. So it's just worth 1,000 words, a minute's worth 1.8 million words. So specifically on this one, I am going to talk about video and the role that it can play. When you use video, you get a 200 to 300% lift in click-through rates on emails. 90% say it aids in B2B buying decisions. Videos do. 50% of major brands are producing at least 10 videos a year. And collectively, B2B buyers, 57% watch videos on their mobile phone, and 58% watch them on their desktop. So the desktop's not dead in the B2B video space. So what I want to show you, it's kind of an interesting idea, is an example of, and we did not do this video, so I'm not going to take credit for it, but an example, and this is more in the consumer space, but think about how it might apply to NCR, to things like app download, engagement, onboarding. So this is an example of an interactive, personalized video. So I think I turned the volume.
What's weird is there's somebody talking. I don't know why
That's really weird.
So this video doesn't have a...
No, it does have a talk track. Can you just go in the notes and click on the...
Here it is.
Taking a moment to read our email and watch this important...
Sounds like two things are...
Wait, hold on a second. Stop it.
All right.
You've got something running in a browser.
Yeah, something else is open.
So Mike, while he's going,
Yeah.
I think what I'm seeing on here is a video that has been sent to a prospect or existing customer, but it's been somehow...
It's personalized. Yes. You can personalize it in a number of ways. So it was text out to this customer. She clicked on it. Here's the video. There's the email, rather. It's personalized to her. we've got a video. And now you're actually going to see the video in the format here.
Hi, Jane. Good morning. Thank you for taking
Knows what time of the day it is.
And watch this important notice. Recent events have shown that many people in hurricane-prone areas were not prepared either physically or financially. We believe it is our responsibility at Acme Insurance to personally engage with all of our customers, which is precisely why we've created this experience that is really all about you. In a moment, you will have an opportunity to understand your individual coverage, learn how to file a claim in the event that you experience any damage, and simply gain an understanding of how to get prepared. If at any moment you prefer to speak with a live representative, simply click the contact button, and a representative from Acme will call you as soon as possible. Select the topics that you would like me to explain. Let me know how much time you have, and press continue.
We're not going to make you watch the whole video. But this is the interactive part.
I will review some tips.
Well, what you get, I'll have to get back to you on return numbers, which I can get. But you get the engagement right in the video. So you can do things. For example, we're working with a client who's interested in using it for kind of credit card activation type stuff, to enroll in programs and things like that. And you can start the process right in the video. As I said, you can use it for onboarding purposes. I know Silver over the years has had issues with people downloading the app but never getting their information in the app necessarily to give it a true trial. So you can start it in something like this. So the key is to think about personalized, and then how can you make it interactive so that people are doing things right in the video and it's being customized for them.
I would never watch a video. I would never do this, personally.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if I'm the only person, but if I saw a video come up on my email, I would delete.
And some people won't.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. If I'm the only person.
No, I'm with you.
So, like, if I see any kind of multimedia come, I'm like,
So I'm with you, and I hesitate to say that it's a generational thing, but I will say I have learned in our business that it works, just not for me. But the numbers, I can't argue with them. They bear it out.
But show me a picture.
That's right.
And I love it.
Give me 100 words, and I'll have to read that.
And I like words, but I love pictures. And if the pictures move a little bit,
speaks to the point that we can't rely on these two tactics for everybody. We have to have different flavors for your spontaneous buyer, for your more humanistic or whatever, where you might not like a video, but I won't look at anything.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, that just goes down to our personas.
We have this argument with clients all the time, and we had one this morning. And the CEO was like, "Well, that's just not interesting to me." And with the greatest respect, you are not my audience. You are not your audience. Your audience is the engineer, and the statistics show that this actually is, or the A/B test, in fact, in that case, shows that that's really what the one that they. Right. So I think it's. I mean, I'm totally with you on this.
Yeah, because I see those dots, and I'm like, oh my god, I got to go through all of
There you go.
Well, not going to happen.
So the point is, it's a technology you guys need to be thinking about. That now, not only can you personalize the video with name, audio content, time of day, city you're in. You can be in a geolocation, and it could pop up a very relevant statistic to that location. Whatever it is, anything you think about can be personalized, but the interactive part, I think, is the super sticky part. That you can start processes in the video. That makes it really cool.
Well, I think the interactive part, and I think also speed and being quick about it. I don't know if people want to spend a lot of time doing that.
Right.
But depending on the buyer persona that we're targeting with this, it could be incredibly effective.
Yeah, I will. And we talked to Maria about this a few weeks ago. And actually the technology behind this is, as I pointed out to her, I said, it's kind of a company very much like NCR. It's Pitney Bowes is behind this. And I said, very much like NCR with love and deference, because they're a very old brand that is working to retool the organization to find its place in this new world of upstarts. And how do they do that? And they do it with products like this, because if you just sell postage meters, you're out of business, right? So, okay, Rory, let's speed through the rest. You were the one who brought up what we're calling Customer Success 2.0. with your previous employer. There was a big trend brought on by a lot of the software as a service business models for having customer success managers to guard that revenue, to focus on churn. So now customer success 2.0 is really involving the entire organization. Really taking a look at who are your most valued customers, where are the customers you can get the most revenue out of, and how can you as an organization look at them as a growth engine, not just an annuity stream, but an actual growth engine to sell more into them, and make it more of a customer lifecycle management process. And McKinsey's been writing a lot about 2.0 customer success. As I said, it involves analytics. It also involves deep engagement at the account level. So I know you hate B2B or B2C, so you probably hate B2B2C, but what do you know? What do you as NCR know about Applebee's customers that you can share with them that make you more valuable to Applebee's? So the B2B2C. How can you, and we've got an example we're going to show you that, which dovetails nicely into account-based marketing also. And then the final one is becoming data-driven. And I'm not going to spend much time on this. I actually have a little leave behind for you about it. We think there are 4 areas most B2B organizations can spend more time being data-driven. One is under really defining market opportunity. One is, and it sounds like you're already working on it, that buyer decision mapping and having that information, the customer segmentation, and then the strategic alignment against those. So I won't go into that though. But those are the 8 trends. And I'm going to ask Mr. Carlton really quick, because we've got just a few minutes to get these folks out, to show you some of the trends and actions and just some other neat stuff.
Sure. So we just had a couple of fresh, tasty, satisfying nuggets of our Ketty work just to kind of spin past you
right
real quick.
in the middle.
Yeah, that's going to be awkward.
Kind of like it.
Why don't I say Probably it's a great improvement. No, we'll go. Here we go. Thank you, Nicole. No, we're good. No, I know you don't mind.
Not too hard.
So this is a fun campaign we did recently. Oh, this is even better. This is B to B to E. So this is business to business to employee. This is for First Data, and it's a program for a very, very, very large retailer whose colors are yellow and blue, who I shan't mention, to get their employees to sign up to get their paychecks through a debit card as opposed to through a check. So it's to encourage the employee to become engaged in their financial future. So it took the form of a pop quiz. Starts off the top left. So a pop quiz, so you could decide what's your financial personality type, and various components of this. I won't go through them just in the interest of time, but the idea is we're going to give you are the rainmaker. We're going to give you tips and tricks on how to manage your money better, depending on the personality type that you have. 6 personality types based on research, none of them bad, all of them have pros and cons, and ultimately the aim is to drive people to use the debit card facility offered through the employer as a way to become more efficient in the way they manage their money and achieve their goals. So just kind of fun and playful and a terrific engagement.
We used influencers in that campaign also.
Absolutely.
Smart influencer, Gene Chasky with NBC. So we were strategic in how we picked them. Let's use the financial editor for NBC.
So this one, you've seen ROI, online ROI calculators. This one is the most minimal ROI calculator you can ever think of. You give us one number and we will tell you how much time you will save. So you save 62 hours, you spend 62 hours doing this. We're going to say you can save up to 56, and what could you use that 56 hours for? Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, just fun, silly stuff. The audience is developers. It's kind of playful. It's a little bit viral. It's kind of silly. The engagement on this was also higher than their regular ROI calculator in terms of where you had to answer 5 questions and get some meaningful data. So we're really just trying to get you to engage with the brand.
Of course, there's a retargeting campaign back behind that. So
this is some work we did recently. For a company probably familiar to you. And this is not so much about the work. This is more about a way of presenting a plan, a way of presenting some big ideas. Instead of going in with a PowerPoint, as unconsciously we have done so today, have worked together to put these things into visuals, and then slice these up, take them in. These are big boards, as you can see, kind of go in and present them hand-drawn. It's illustrative, it's engaging, it's fun, it's playful, it's a little different. It's just better than a dry old PowerPoint, and just a different way to present that kind of information.
What we're seeing is executives aren't absorbing the 20-page marketing plan with charts and graphs like they used to. They kind of want the sex and sizzle. So how do you show them the big idea, and then how do you show? We're showing all NCR examples because that way we don't get in trouble showing you other folks' stuff. But this is something we presented to your friends over at Silver, and it actually talks about some of the influencers, and it talks about what some of the strategies are: focus, storytelling, thought leadership, a nurture line, an educate line, a celebrate line, some core elements, one-page plan with the activities so that you can walk an executive through it, you can get the buy-in you need, then we can build the 20-page plans and everything that we need to make it happen. But we're finding more and more people's eyes are glossing over, and we don't want that to happen. So.
Okay, a couple more. Customer Success 2.0, celebrating the most loyal customers, celebrating high-value customers. This is a program for a company called Recall in the document destruction space.
Iron Mountain.
Now just recently bought by Iron Mountain. So this is for their high-end customers, a customer loyalty kit. Just fancy, big box, arrives on your desk in a FedEx package. We really value you. We're taking you into this Diamond Alliance program where we're going to give you all sorts of valuable information. Thought leadership I think the thought leadership slide is actually next. So thought leadership that isn't self-serving. An online assessment tool, a really detailed online assessment tool. This assessment tool was actually used by the salespeople as a cross-sell and upsell opportunity of the account managers. Go and meet with the client. It benchmarks you against your competitors, so it's really interesting to see how you stack up, both in the same vertical or the same size of company. And then also just, thought leadership, but as Mike said, instead of being, so this is kind of old school, going back to a journal, a published piece, 60 pages thick. You're going to take it home on the weekend and read it. It's not the kind of thing you're necessarily going to read at your desk. It's a take-home thing. It thuds on the desk once a quarter. It's impressive. It's got some self-generated content. It's got some reused content from industry influencers. But it's not about the product. It's not about the company. It's about things that you would need to know if you're in the information governance business.
Rory, just real quick.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody had a 1 o'clock meeting, but...
Sorry, 1 o'clock.
You got mine.
I got the slides.
If anybody needs to pop out.
This particular program greatly increased sales engagement. It was, again, very focused. I think it was the top 75 companies they were going after. And you guys might have the similar thing in some of the industries you serve. The sales reps don't ever have anything to go talk to the client about. So we invented stuff for them to go talk to the client about, to have that conversation, which would lead to buying more. So.
This is a really simple, silly, fun, inexpensive idea. Media outreach.
Sorry, Anna.
Yeah, she had to leave.
Oh, it's good. Gotcha. So this is reaching out to the media, reaching out to journalists around holiday, and instead of sending them the umpteenth pitch or the umpteenth infographic, just
they grab it,
we grabbed the Greek version for this. That's awesome. Basically, it's a holiday card. It's a Christmas card. It arrives as a Christmas card. It's got a pitch on the back for a particular angle, a particular story that we want to present. And just a fun, different way to kind of break through.
So we were trying to stand out. It was the Christmas in July card, actually. And for retailers, actually, as you guys know, they deal with very small on-site or website retailers. It was what do retailers need to start doing now to think about Christmas and how this company could be a source for them as they're covering pre-Christmas coverage. So, kind of interesting.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
This one we actually have right here. So this is a video brochure. You guys may have seen these. This is oops, play button there.
Thank you.
So it comes in the mail. It's a retinal piece. It plays a video when you open it. I won't make you watch all the way through the video. This company sells big format digital displays. And so that piece just comes in the mail as a direct mail package and plays the video, shows the product in a way that you couldn't show on a website or on a printed piece, and makes the case, in this case, for a financing program that they were promoting. So I won't make you watch all of that.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten one of those are fun things that tend not to be thrown away, tend to hang around in people's offices.
They're awesome. The price per piece on that drops pretty drastically once you start getting into volume. And we've really had some good results with those in terms of response rates on things like that. It's hard to ignore. And it's also easy for a salesperson to follow up and say, did you get this piece? Because it's not like the postcard that the person's like, I have no idea. I think we might have one more. Oops. There we go. Oh, this is a different take on the good old explainer video. You've all seen the whiteboard videos, the animated. So this is something we did fairly recently, which is a bit of a combination of live action and animation as a kind of fun explainer video to make it a little bit. Oops, well, that's not how you do it. To make it a little bit more real and a little bit more human.
People leave things behind all the time. They never stop pouring into our lost and found offers. Sometimes precious things.
It really is in sync.
It is here.
Okay.
Weird things. Whatever they are, they're important to someone. And they're a pain for us to manage. Not to mention a growing expense. It's crucial we make it easy for our customers to recover their items. But I'm not in the returns business.
Thanks for using WebEx. Visit our website at www.webex.com.
Which is why we turned to NetTracer. Now I'm a lost and found wizard.
Now we have real
spending a dime. So how does NetTracer work? We bring all our lost and found items to a central location. Using the NetTracer software, we can...
So it uses the combination of both live action and animation to do things that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. It's funny when the client saw this, they're like, wow, that actually looks like the lady. And we're like, well, that was kind of by design.
So we won't make you watch through all of that, but just wanted to show that combination. It's fun. It's a little different.
Presents multiple shipping options.
Right on time.
Well, close.
Close enough. Thank you. That's what we had to show you.
So, we just wanted to, thank you for giving us the time.
Yeah, I can explain it a little bit.
No problem.
To share with you guys kind of our priorities for this year and everything.
Sure.
I don't think we've talked since we've done reorg with our marketing organization. Maybe what we can do is a follow-up, make sure you guys understand that.
Okay.
Short story is we've moved from command and control within industries to a functional model.
Right.
So, like Katie said, she's responsible for brand and shared services across everything. I'm now responsible for global demand across all industries. So we'll share that with you guys. I think kind of a main takeaway of, I would say, probably top 3 kind of priorities and maybe touch on things that you guys do. One is around accelerating our reach to our digital properties. So we're doing some things on our Inser.com site, moving to a new platform, really looking at refreshing that. Secondly is building and executing global demand campaigns at a higher level than we've ever done before. Think cross-industry campaigns, like financial, hospitality, retail, that we can do products or programs that our customers underneath that. Third being really all around solution sales and enablement. So both launching new solutions as well as doing better at doing more around our existing high priority solutions. The biggest goal we've got is Red Pipeline. So anything and everything that can do that in whatever way, we're all over.
And 136 marketeers are measured on.
Wow.
So I think from a next step, let's make sure you guys get plugged in with Katie with whatever process we have for managing agencies. We'll get back to you guys on kind of understanding the NCR marketing organization and the architecture. Close out any projects we had with you. We still got the video for the delivery marketplace. We hope you guys have feedback on that.
I'm sure she's been bulldogging you.
She should be. And we'll go from there. This actually was really helpful. I'd love to continue doing these programs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very helpful. Very unique.
Well, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
And you guys What? Oh, you are. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, we just sound sweet. Well,
Metaphorically. Brookhaven. We're bound to your house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Where everyone wants to be.
Thank you for lunch.
Oh yeah, Charlotte's got a few departing gifts for everyone.
And